Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Tonight is the 7-7 portal. So I want to apologize. Well, maybe apologize isn't the right word. This video is coming out a little late. It is the evening of the 7-7 portal right now. It's been just a crazy few weeks, really, and just a really intense. Ever since that final eclipse, the energy's been pretty intense, and there's just been so much going on. And honestly, there have been days where I just had to rest for a little while. My body was asking and requesting that of me, and it's so important that we honor our bodies and listen to what they're telling us. So I had days since that eclipse where I was just completely out of commission and wanting to get this video together for you guys, but just not having the energy to do it. But we're here right now. I think it's really cool that I'm doing this as a live because I want like that collective energy of all of us that we feed off of so much. I knew you were going to be here, Malicious Minds Day. I could just feel it. Yes, it's been so intense. And today I was quite literally being showered with just these crescendos of energy to the point where there were moments when I felt as if my body might actually completely dematerialize. It was absolutely crazy. Like if I touched myself, I could feel myself as solid, but I could feel everything vibrating and just being really fuzzy. It was like I could feel all of the little molecules. It was like just that experience of like what it might be like to turn into complete light. And it's funny because every time that happens, even though that's, it's like we seek out these things, right? But we start to experience them and then they're terrifying. So it kind of took me aback a little bit, and I had to kind of work through it. And then by this evening, I was able to really just sink into the energy of it. And I felt like I was lying on my bed, literally bathing in this beautiful energy. And it was really interesting because anyone that I've come into contact with today, especially if I've, touched them physically, has just had this crazy rush of energy wash through them. And it's just like so much energy. And I think it's being pumped into a lot of us, so I felt like, why am I receiving this much energy if it's not to share it? So what I want to do right now is I want to set the intention that anybody viewing this video, whether they view it currently in this now moment or whatever now moment it is that they're viewing this in, receive the overflow of that energy. I think we're all receiving our own energy right now. Is like it's coming to all of us, right? It's not like I'm saying I'm the only one experiencing it, but I'm feeling a lot of it, and I want to share that. And I also think that the combination of all of us sharing that energy that we're experiencing could make this video really, really powerful. So yeah, that was part of the idea of doing this as a live today and just having that sort of flow that we have when we get together. So, at least there's the two of us on here right now, Malicious Mind State. We're feeling the energy. We're in the flow of it. And so we're going to talk about the energy of the portal and just some different things that have been coming through for me, a little bit about the astrology of it, and then get into the card reading. So it's going to be like a normal portal video, except we're going to have like that communication and that exchange of energy and that flow. So all of you, if you're watching this after the 7-7 portal, just open yourselves up to continue to receive that energy and receive any transmissions that want to come through for you at this time. My body's heating up even more as I'm saying that. Like, it's so cool. So, all right, the 7-7 portal. We can talk a little bit, I guess, first. Yes, I know. You always are. That's why I love you so much. I'm so happy you're here. Like I said, I could feel your energy before I got on here, and I knew that you were going to catch this one. But we have just the energy of 7 in general, right? And so if you think about the energy of the number 7, it's a very esoteric number. It's a very mystical, probably the most mystical of all numbers. You can find the number 7 all throughout different scriptures, different religious texts, different spiritual texts and doctrines, right? I mean, you see it if you look, in the Bible, it's, like the earth was created in 7 days. We have 7 days in a week. There's, 7 the 7 main archangels, right? We have the seven inner planets, original inner planets that were known, that astrologers worked with before the outer planets were discovered, right? We have 7 chakras. We have 7 layers to our energy body, right? It's just this number, it repeats and it repeats and it repeats, and we see it in so many things because it is like that master number, that master spiritual number. It's that number of, it's the number of the soul, right? Like it's everything. It's that completion of that spiritual journey. There are many believe 7 dimensions in this specific galaxy or plane of existence that we exist in. That's largely debated. People say all kinds of different things. 7 levels of soul development. Like if we started going on with this, like I wish that there were, oh yeah, we do all the portals. It's every time we have these repeating numbers, right? And so 2020, really, this entire year is kind of like a portal because we have the repeating, like the 20, the 20 is repeating twice. And so that's really interesting. We can really look at the entire year of 2020 as a portal type energy. And just we very rarely experience a year that is a mirror repeating number like that. So like that's pretty cool. But yeah, we always do. Whenever you get these doublings of these numbers, it's just, it magnifies the energy of the number. And it's like, it's a stargate or a gateway that connects us more deeply with and more easily with other dimensions and with all of these different frequencies of energy. So we have some powerful things that happen on these portals. But yeah, I think I'm getting it's, that we've been doing this on this channel for 4 portals now together. And that's really beautiful. Yeah. I hope oh, beautiful. That's wonderful. Oh, thank you. I'm so excited about that. Yeah, I just love doing these lives. But yeah, so back to the portal energy, the 7 energy. So the 7 energy is the energy that we're experiencing a magnification of right now. And it was really interesting because we talk about like the rays of light, right? We have seven major rays of light, of octaves of sound, right? And so one of the things that I felt really strongly going on with this 7/7 portal was this activation for those who had not been activated in, and this like deeper ingraining of the rainbow light body for those who have had that rainbow light body activated. That is something that happens as we begin our ascension process, is the activation of that rainbow light body. And so that is being deepened and that's being strengthened. And an exercise that I was shown to do to help reinforce that rainbow light body activation and that the energy of that is just to imagine that rainbow light sort of flowing, almost like a waterfall or like a ribbon that's moving throughout your chakra system and connecting your chakras. And so I was envisioning that as I was sort of bathing in the energy earlier, was like this beautiful rainbow light coming down. So the rainbow light body, or the rainbow light, contains all 7, right, of those, all 7 of those colors, all 7 of which would be, the colors would be rays of light, right? Rays of information, rays of love, right? The rainbow light body is very much, it's that love energy and the vibrations of that. It's the compilation of all of those vibrations. It contains everything that exists because it has all 7 of those frequencies, right? All 7 of those harmonic tones. And so we're integrating that. It's that full integration of the entire spectrum of the energies that we're integrating and being activated by right now. Yeah, the planetary alignment. So we're going to get into that as well. We're going to get into the astrology of this portal and sort of what that means as well. And that's actually a perfect segue, malicious mind state, for us to get into that right now. So we have some interesting stuff happening, and I'm looking at this all on I have a great app that I use. If you guys are interested in astrology, I highly recommend it. It's called, what is this called? Astro Charts Pro, and it's really great. It brings up the daily charts. You can do so much on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so we're looking, and so we have the sun, and the sun is still loosely conjunct Mercury in the sign of Cancer right now. And we have it opposing Jupiter, who is still at the same, they're not at that exact conjunction anymore, but they're both still at 23 degrees of Capricorn right now. And so we have this, and as you guys know, if you've been following the different videos that we've been doing on the Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions and all of these different things and all of the energies that those are carrying with them. So we have this opposition going on right now between Mercury and the Sun and Jupiter and Pluto, which is still within that energy of Saturn as well. So I really look at them as a unit still, you guys know, as far as like from an ascension point of view, which is really how I read all astrology. I would be what I would term like an intuitive ascension related astrologer. So when I read the astrology energy, I'm reading it for the ascension energy and how the planets are impacting our ascension process. And so I'm looking at all three of these planets as still really grouped together and their energy really, you know, in a unified state still. And so although Saturn's a little ways away, it's at 29 degrees of Capricorn still. And so, but we talked about the significance of that in the Pluto and Jupiter video. So if you guys didn't watch that second conjunction video, I definitely encourage you to check that out as well. But yeah, so it's sort of like we have, so the Sun and Mercury, when those two come together, the combined energy of that is very much, to me, especially within this chart right now, representing like the energy of the ego, right? Like the Sun is our consciousness. It's our ego identity, really. And the mind is where we process and where we store and where we create this ego identity. So it's very much that. And it's in the sign of Cancer, which is like the sign of the home. So this is like our ego identity where we feel comfortable, right? And it's opposing this energy of Jupiter and Pluto, you know, still being helped out and assisted by this energy of Saturn, which is really asking us to call into question everything that we think we know about the world, about ourselves, about spirituality, about our belief systems, about all of this stuff. So it's really this, and we talk about this whole year of 2020, this 2020 portal, as we would call it, has been a year of ego death, really. It's been a process that we've been undergoing. And so this is a deeper level of that's unfolding with the 7-7 portal. But really what's happening is it's a merging and a fusion with our soul. And so this is a concept that we're going to get into more deeply in the future. I have there's going to be a little bit, we are slowly going to be restructuring this channel a little bit and moving this back towards the collaborative energies of myself and Kayla. And I'm actually launching a personal channel right now as well. I have it started. I haven't gotten to upload any videos yet. I just got the bare bones of it done. As I said, it's been a crazy week, but that's going to be called Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. And on that, we're probably going to get into this concept pretty deeply. And Kayla and I will probably explore it in some of our collaborative videos and the stuff that we do on, you know, as this channel progresses as well, because it's an energy that's really fascinating. And I got some really interesting information that came through on it. This whole idea of this merging process with our souls and how that is one of the ultimate goals for this lifetime and this incarnation, is that complete merger with our souls. And the fact that we have this ego identity, this personality, which we identify with and we believe is us, but we also have this soul who chose our personality. It chose what Kayla and I would call like our human, right? And thought that this human would be a good vessel through which to accomplish what the soul wanted to accomplish in this lifetime. And so it's like the soul is the higher aspect of ourselves. And then we have the ego personality and the human personality, right? And so this process of ego death is really, as our ego is dying, what's happening is we are merging more and more completely with our soul. And this is a process that we have complete control over. And this is a process that we can choose to engage in or not engage in. But our soul is that eternal part of ourselves. And it's that merger that happens between the energies of what we consider to be our personality, and then allowing our soul to come in and sort of refine that and transmute and transform that. And so that's what we have going on right now, is that a deeper level of merging with our souls, if we so allow it. And so we see this reflected again in the number 7. The number 7 is a number that represents that full attainment of that spirituality, that life purpose, that spiritual mission. All of that energy is reflected in the number 7. It is the most divine of all the numbers, and it speaks of our divinity. So it's us getting back in touch with and merging with our divinity, with that peace that exists within ourselves, that is eternal, that incarnates into this body, into this lifetime, and utilizes this personality that we mistakenly identify with as ourselves, as sort of like a tool to learn and to grow and to accomplish, right? And so as we fuse more with our soul, we connect more deeply with our divine purpose, with our life mission, with all of that energy, and we just magnify the energy of our being. And so that's what we're doing right now, is we're magnifying that energy of our being. And we can see this also supported by the fact that we have, and we'll go to our little figures here. I love this. We have the sun. The sun and Mercury, because we're reading them as a unit right now, right? So the ego identity is in a trine with Neptune. And then we have Jupiter and Pluto and that energy in a sextile to Neptune. So they're all connected in this, this app likes to call it a mystic triangle. I like the word mystic because that very much goes with the energy of the 7, right? But they're connected in this triangle of energy. And so that Neptune energy is feeding itself out to both of these opposing lineups of planets, right? And so Neptune, what do we call Neptune? The great dissolver, right? Neptune is the planet of the higher self that represents the higher self, right? Like I see Neptune and Pluto, and really Uranus too, as different aspects of the higher self. But the ultimate higher self is, Neptune is, check out the Neptune retrograde video. We talk a lot about the energy of Neptune, but it's that taking us back to our soul, dissolving that ego structure, assisting with that sextile energy, Jupiter and Pluto, and helping to break that down, and just having that harmonious effect on the sun and Mercury, of like slowly transmuting and transforming and integrating and fusing with that energy of our soul, and really helping to dispel any illusions, because Neptune is in retrograde right now, right? So when Neptune is direct, we talk about Neptune as this energy that sort of can be illusory, right? And it can lead to confusion. It can lead to all these different things. It's like kind of like that film that sometimes settles over our eyes, that mystic film, right? But in retrograde, Neptune is peeling back that veil. And so that's what it's doing for us in terms of these stories that we identify with, this identity, this ego identity in general. And the fact that the things that are not true, the things like we're seeing a peeling back of all of that, and we're really having the truth of our souls and the magnificence of our souls more revealed to us, and we're able to really sink into and get in touch with the energy of that right now during this portal. It's so open, and everything is so aligned and so ready to embrace us. That energy is calling to us. Our soul is calling to us, and it's inviting us to merge with it, to become one with it, and to really sink our teeth into this energy of this journey, because it really is. It's like a collaboration. It's a collaboration between our human personality, right? And our soul energy. And as these two begin to collaborate, they begin to fuse into that one energy, right? This is just another perspective in a way that I was shown to sort of view it and understand it. So the ultimate ego death is the complete surrender to our soul and fusion with our soul energy. Let's see what else. Yes, Astrocharts Pro. Check it out. It's really cool. And I bought it was like one-time $20 payment, and you get all these extra options and stuff. It's absolutely worth it. I would highly, highly recommend it. Astrocharts Pro. Yeah. Hi, Tommy. Yes. Tommy and I got to experience an exchange of some of this beautiful energy today. And it was pretty intense. It was pretty magnificent. I'm so happy to see you on here. I thought you would still be working. Oh, or maybe you are. I don't know. But yeah, so we have Neptune working to assist in this process, and it's really beautiful and fascinating how we can see the energy of the portal reflected not only in the numbers, but the resonance of the numbers themselves, but in the resonance of the planets and how that all links together. So it's just that beautiful energy of integration that we're feeling right now. And yeah, I'm trying to think. That's the highlight, really merging with our soul. So I think we're going to pull some cards. I want to do some of the secret language of light cards for you guys. Hello. Oh, it's my channel is Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. So I'm not really sure. We're not really sure what everything's going to look like. We know that we're moving back to originally this channel was purely collaborative between myself and Kayla, and then the pandemic hit and everything got a little bit, things got a little strange and we had to adapt. And so we're moving back into the energy of like, we know that you guys love our combined energy when we get together. We love it. We want more of it. We know you guys want more of it. So it's going to be sort of a process of transitioning back into more of that collaborative energy. And then probably, I'm guessing, some of these astrological ascension videos and different stuff that I do, eventually some of these lives probably will transition more onto that channel. So definitely check it out. I have a Mars and Aries video that I'm going to be doing on Cosmic Consciousness pretty soon, and just talking about the life purpose and the initiation and activation of that as that relates to the healing of the divine masculine energy, all of that. So that's going to be fun. And so I'm not really sure what's going to be what and how it's going to work out. So the best thing I can say to everyone is, follow both channels. That way you're not going to miss anything, and just stay tuned with us on this journey. Kayla has a personal channel as well. It's called Kayla Divine Channel. So she may post some additional stuff on there as well. So it's just, if you like our energies, check out, follow everything, and you won't miss a thing. There's just so many different things that we're going to be doing, and so many different ideas that we have, and ways that everything's going to evolve. It's just, life is constantly evolving, and so are we, and just really embracing that. That's just so much of the energy right now, is just embracing change and embracing the flow and just the way that things are flowing. And so we have healing. Yeah. So we're absolutely healing. We're healing physically. We're healing energetically. We're healing like we were talking about, a lot of those old stories, right? Those old wounds, a lot of those old ego patterns. We're healing and releasing a lot of that stuff too. And it's just like, so it was a really interesting, when I connect a lot of times. I seek out the connections with the angels, with the ascended masters, with the ancient ones, all of this different stuff, right? And so it occurred to me that my soul is reaching out. My soul, like my higher self, like the soul energy that resides within us, that we're in this process of merging with, exists in many more dimensions than just this one, right? Because we exist in an infinite now. So everything is happening simultaneously. So our soul energy exists in all of these higher dimensions as well. And a lot of people say that a lot of the guidance that we get when we pray and when we connect with these other beings actually comes from our higher self. It comes from our soul as it is evolved in a higher dimension. So when I was sort of having this conversation with my soul and starting this process of falling in love with my soul and surrendering to it and saying, like, yes, I want to merge fully with you. I want this mission that you want is what I want too. And so let's do this together. I got this message that I can seek out that guidance simply from my soul as well, from my higher self, right? My soul in these other dimensions, who is watching me and rooting me on and is me, right? But is this other version, this more whole version of me. And so I can seek out healing from that energy as well. I'm getting this vibe too, like a lot of us are coming into this space where we're really beginning to appreciate the the capacity that we have to heal ourselves, right? So we talk about this all the time, or do we? I don't know. We're talking about it now. So we all have this innate capability to heal ourselves. We are creator beings, we are God beings, and we are all healers as well. And so we're reconnecting with that aspect of ourselves. There's just, and that, with our divinity, I mean, in this card you can see it's got like the angel wings up here and everything. It's like there's such divine energy here. So we're receiving the healing from this divine energy, and we're also starting to realize and understand that capacity that we have to heal ourselves. And how do we do that? We connect with our higher self, with our soul. We connect and open up to these frequencies, to this rainbow light, right? All of these different healing frequencies of light. We open up and we connect with that through the portal of the heart, right? We talk about the heart portal all the time. And just everything, as we begin to merge with our souls, we're also going through this process where the different wounds and the different traumas that our soul has experienced in this lifetime particularly, we are really coming into, as we're integrating more, as we merge more with our soul, we integrate more of that soul light into us, right? This ascension process is allowing us to hold more of that soul light. And so we are also healing these wounded aspects of our soul. And a lot of us are completing journeys in this lifetime that our soul began in other lifetimes that it wasn't able to fully complete. And so there's a healing that happens around that. We're healing the wounds of our ancestors, right? Our lineage. We're healing this planet. Like, there is just so much healing happening. And we can really experience that and dive deep into that during this portal. Just the feeling and the vibration of the light, after I stopped being kind of afraid of it earlier today and allowed myself to really sink into it, it was so divine and it was so gentle and it was so healing. I think a lot of us, whether we realize it or not, are receiving healing on so many levels through this gateway and this portal tonight. And the more you open yourselves up to that, the more of that energy we can receive, right? When we open up to being receptive to it. So just healing all around in every aspect of the word. And that reminds me of, I'm going to be dropping these all night because it's just the sevens, the way the 7 repeats is so fun to delve into, right? So another 7 that I just remembered was the fact that they say every 7 years, every organ and tissue and cell in our body completely regenerates. And so that's just an instance of this miraculous 7 energy, right? So it's like every 7 years this happens, but on the 7/7 portal, this happens as well if we allow it to. And it's all as much as we allow and as much as we allow ourselves to believe. I started not feeling very well over the past few days. As I told you guys, I had to rest a lot. I wasn't really sure what was going on. And so for one of the first times, I really, truly opened up. Hi, Madison. Hello. Oh, Medicine Wheel. Oh, awesome. Hi. Yeah, I opened up to that completely, in complete trust and surrender. And, I told my angels and my higher self, like, I understand and I believe completely that you can heal me, that we can heal me, that this is possible. So, and I opened myself up to allow that energy to really work. And I have been in this process of progressively feeling better ever since then. It's like, there is so much magic. It's just, we all possess that. And that's one of our goals really on this channel, is to introduce you guys to the magnificence that is you, to all of this healing potential that you have within yourselves. And so, yeah, it's really cool to be stepping into that. A lot of us are stepping into our role as healers of ourselves, as healers of Gaia, this planet, right? As healers of the world. And as we heal all these things in ourselves, we are healing the world as well. So it's just like this healing on every single level that's just even more pronounced and magical this evening. Yes, beyond the ego self. That is absolutely right. We are being given so much assistance in moving beyond the ego self right now. Vibrations, frequencies, energy, Metatron's cube. Yes, I actually, you can't see it on here, Medicine Wheel, but I have a Metatron's cube crystal grid that I use on this table with the energies. That's been an energy that I've been drawn to for a really long time, and that was popping up for me everywhere. Some people are of the school of thought that Metatron is one of the angels that is in most direct assistance with this ascension process. And yeah, just I'm throwing it out as well for you guys where we're on the subject of healing. We're talking about the angels, Metatron, all of that. We are all healers of ourselves and we're coming into that energy, but sometimes it helps to get a little assistance with that and a little boost with that. So if you are interested in that, Kayla offers energy healing services. I offer energy healing services as well. I practice a modality. My specialty is called Belvaspata, and it works with angelic frequencies, different rays of light and emotion. It is a healing modality that was gifted to humanity to assist with this ascension process and these changing energies on the planet, and to help us to adjust mentally, emotionally, and physically, and to really reconnect with our heart center, reconnect with our own divinity, and heal that lie of separation that keeps us in so much pain. And so if that is something that you guys are interested in, definitely reach out to me. I do personal readings. I do combinations where we do a personal reading in concert and follow it up with a healing session to address the things that have come up during that reading and set very specific intentions. I also now offer a service where I do an ascension reading based on the transiting planets in your astrological chart. So if that's something that you're interested in, reach out for that as well. Reach out. Kayla does readings. She does energy healings as well. Reach out to her if you're drawn and you resonate with her energy. There is so much assistance and so many options available for you guys. And and your angels, like, honestly, it's all right there right now. Like, lay back in meditation, set the intention. Like I said, I set the intention to share all of the intense energies that have been pouring through me today with all of you guys through this video. So set the intention to receive that. Set the intention to receive what spirit is bringing to you right now during this portal, the activation of that rainbow light body, just really like allowing that process of that, all of those different harmonic tones and rays of light to integrate with that rainbow light body as that's happening right now. Yes. Oh, nice. Interesting. Oh, connecting with those shadow aspects. That's what it's all about, man. That's a huge energy that we have going on right now. Yes, there's a lot of healing going on. Hi, Pamela. Lots of purging too. Yes, we're always, as our light is increasing, we are making space for that light, and we're releasing everything that's not in resonance with it. So there's going to be a lot of purging. We're seeing that going on in the world at large. The entire world is, as Tommy mentioned, shadow work, purging. It's facing its shadow. We're seeing this process. It's being reflected as within, so without, right? And vice versa. Everything is a reflection and a mirror, and we're all one, right? It's all connected. And so that process is very much underway. And then we have soul song. And I love this, right? Because we're talking about merging with our soul, right? And so and I use this terminology a lot. I love it. And then we have whispers on the bottom of the deck. If you guys can see that. So like the whispers, and I use that terminology a lot too, right? Like the whispers of your soul song. So your soul song, when I discuss this, and it's coming through that this is what I want to be talking about with this, is my perspective of this. The soul song, that's when we do go through that purging process, when we've integrated, when we're going through this process of merging with our soul, right? And really connecting with that energy, like we become more of the resonance and the vibration of our soul, right? We embody more of that pure soul energy when it's not sort of, I don't want to say gunked up because that sounds gross, but when it's not sort of covered with all these layers of of the personality and of the trauma and of all of this baggage that we've taken on, right? When we release that stuff, we step more into our authenticity. We merge more with our souls. We are emitting. The soul song is our vibration. It's our signature vibratory frequency that we put out into the universe. And that once that is released into the universe, that draws to us everyone that and everything that responds to that soul song. And that's how we draw in, we become closer to our life purpose, our soul family, all of these different things, everything that is in resonance with that. So as we're peeling back these layers and these illusions, right, and we're allowing this ultimate ego death to happen, as we merge more and more fully with our souls, we are emitting and we are singing that soul song. And our soul is always speaking to us, right, in these whispers. And the more we merge with our souls, the more it's sort of like our soul doesn't have to necessarily speak to us through those whispers anymore, because we are more and more one unit, and our thoughts are our soul's thoughts, right? I know this is weird. It sounds like we're two separate entities, but in a way, it's almost like we sort of are, right? Like our ego human selves and our soul selves. So at first it's like, and I'm noticing the pyramid here as well, down here. So it's like at first our soul speaks to us in these whispers when we're quiet, when we have those moments, that intuition, right? Or these yearnings, these desires that we have, these intrigues and interests, these different ways that our soul tries to communicate with us, right? And I'm being drawn to say synchronicities as well. Like that's another way. Like our soul whispers to us and is reflected to us through spirit animals, through all this different stuff, right? But that's how it communicates at first. And then the more and more we merge, the more that whisper, like I said, that becomes who we are. That becomes what we are. And we're able to move more fully and step more fully into our purpose. We're really singing that soul song. We're continuing. We become more and more healed. Like as we merge fully with our souls, like our souls don't experience sickness. Our souls don't experience all of this three-dimensional stuff, right? Like our souls are whole, they are healthy. So we heal. So much is healed as we step into that full essence of who we are. And so our souls, when they're still sort of, I don't want to say battling, but when they're balancing out with this ego personality, there is some, I don't want to say sick, like disease, right? There are all of these things that we experience that are not of our full resonance. But as we step into that merger with our soul, all of that stuff naturally becomes healed. Our soul is stepping in and asking and wanting to heal us. Exactly. Yes, cultivating that connection, surrendering to our souls, surrendering to that process. And it's a really interesting process, right? And it's funny because now we have on the bottom of the deck variance. And so this up and down process that we go through with this, right? Because it's like we want to surrender to our souls, but at the same time, like that can be really scary sometimes because we have this attachment to the stories that we tell ourselves that make up who we think we are, right? And even if we're not all that fond of all the aspects of who we think we are, there's like this attachment to it. And the releasing of all of that and the feeling like, it's been interesting. We talked, that's right. Yes, medicine wheel, exactly. That is what the soul is at its core. It is that expression of source. It is love. Everything is love. But we had talked about this sort of as it was funny, this idea of like the soul almost like being just like latching onto our human selves and kind of like being this other entity that's sort of like in there, trying to get in there, right? And we're like, but I'm me. I don't know if I want to merge with you. Like I want to hold on to this human personality and this identity and this understanding of who I am. But it's like, what really is the attachment to that? Like I believe truly that the best and the most beautiful parts of me are in complete resonance with my soul energy. And a lot of that other stuff is just all the little tics and traits that I've picked up along the way throughout this journey in this three-dimensional existence and perspective, right? And so what is so scary about releasing all of that anxiety, releasing all of those little little ticks and traumas and just misrepresentations, right? Because so much of that is a misrepresentation of who we are. And so I hope I'm making sense with this. This is still a concept that was newly introduced to me that I'm still kind of trying to figure out, is this soul, this merger with the soul and the human personality ego construct almost as its own separate entity. And so I'm just kind of like flowing with it and going with it. Hopefully it resonates with people on some level. Yes, we are. That's exactly what we're doing right now, Kelly. And so this, if you guys didn't watch the eclipse video, I suggest that you check out the lunar eclipse in Capricorn video that was just posted. We just had the lunar eclipse and we're still in the energy of that. And we talked about how we're closing out, like Gaia has officially closed out her old timeline. And we are officially closing out all of our old timelines as we move forward into this new timeline for our ascension process, right? But this is going to be a gradual, like that's happened in the non-physical, in the 5D, but that like the understanding and the experience of that is still trickling down into this reality as we're experiencing it right now. And so in this physical reality, it's still going to be a process of catch up. Things happen first in the non-physical, and then they sort of trickle down into this reality. And so that gap is going to continue to speed up until it doesn't exist at all as we transition more and more fully into the 5D, right? But right now there still is a little bit of that lag. And so we have Saturn was at 29 degrees of Capricorn during this eclipse when those old timelines were eclipsed out, right? And Saturn is still retrograde. So he's going to move retrograde for a little while longer and then trace back over that retrograde period, which is what we call like the post-shadow period. So when Saturn returns to 29 degrees in December, that will be, if we're trying to judge by time, we have that period of time where we're really going to be seeing our physical reality sort of like continuing to close out and continuing to move into this new timeline that we've chosen and that we continue to choose every day with our thoughts, with our words, with our actions, with our understanding and our perception of ourselves. As we allow ourselves to merge more deeply with our souls, we cement ourselves more and more into that timeline, because our optimal ascension timeline is the optimal timeline for our soul. Our souls came here to ascend and to assist in this ascension process. And so, yeah, we're going to see that. We're going to see the evidence of those old timelines closing out throughout this period until December. And then it's going to be a huge, huge energy when we have Saturn and Jupiter both entering into Aquarius together in an exact conjunction. And so I believe actually when Saturn is at 29 degrees of Capricorn, it will be in exact conjunction with Jupiter. And then they're going to move forward into Aquarius. So yeah, we also have the moon in Aquarius right now for the 7/7 portal as well, just as an aside. So it's more of that energy of stepping into our authenticity, stepping into our soul song, really owning that energy of who we are, what we are as these eternal beings, right? Not the identity and the personality that we've constructed and that our experiences and oftentimes our trauma has helped to construct for us, but this eternal identity that's ever evolving and growing and learning and just, yeah. That now is here. Yes, exactly. Everything is happening in the now. So we talk about timelines and we talk about these timetables, right? But that's just for our reference from our point of understanding right now, because everything is, as we talk about, happening in that eternal now. And so whenever you want to experience that wholeness of your being, that's the only moment that you can experience it in, is that now moment, because that's the only moment that truly exists. This now moment is the only moment where anything truly exists. And that is how when we talk about like traveling between these dimensions and all of that stuff that we do that from the now moment. So yes, absolutely. Now is here and now is all there is. We are in alignment with our soul. We are joyful, at peace. Low vibe emotions usually donate misaligned with it. Yeah. Yeah, it can be hard because it's letting go of that. It's letting go of that ego identity when we fully surrender to our souls and align with our souls. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, it's so funny, Pamela. I think we were just, yeah, I think you were on here when we were just talking about exactly that, right? It is. It's us, but it's also not, because it's not our ego identity sees itself as separate, right? Like that's the whole guise, and the idea of the ego identity is that the ego identity operates under this illusion of separateness. And so it's like, we want to merge with our souls. We know we feel better when we're in alignment with our souls. But at the same time, that ego is like, oh, but I still kind of want control. But if I align with you, then I'm not me. And even if I don't necessarily feel comfortable as me, like I have this attachment to that identity. And like I'm afraid to step beyond that and see what exists beyond that version and that understanding of myself. And it's like, and this is something that I did the other day that I can encourage to anybody to do, is this process of going and standing in front of a mirror and standing in front of a mirror and staring into your own eyes and really just allowing yourself. I do this sometimes. It's an incredibly powerful experience to dissolve into the experience of allowing your eyes to open up, and that connection with your own energy to open up, and you see your eyes become these portals, right? And the full magnificence and the power of your soul, which is the power of source, which is the power of divinity. It is that love. It is that oneness. It is that everything. You feel that open up. It's like something unlocks. And you can see this happen with other people as well. When you truly connect with another human and you look into, or not another human, right? Another soul, you connect with another soul by staring into their eyes. And that process of like, as we stare into that energy, right? That's our direct link in the physical to that soul energy. We feel that dissolving process as all of the ego dissolves away. And it truly is like looking into the cosmos, right? Because that we are the cosmos. That is us. We are that. And just that feeling, and feeling the power and the magnificence and the magnitude of that is just a beautiful reminder of our eternal existence and what it is that we're truly surrendering to and merging with. And it sort of helps to dispel some of those doubts, because it's like, when I stare at my own soul, when I look at myself, I look into my eyes and I see that resonance of my soul. When I see that resonance in another, right? Because we are all one. It removes all of my doubts. Why would I not want to merge with that? Why would I not want to fully embrace that? It really is. I highly recommend it for anyone, to anyone and everyone, because it is so, so powerful. It's almost overwhelming sometimes, because it's just a great reminder of our divinity and our magnificence when we can connect with that energy and see how that is us, right? Like that is ourselves. Yes. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Tommy, about transmuting the energy. Whoop. See, this is why we do these lives, guys, because this is some great stuff that's coming through right now. And we're just bringing up and hitting on a lot of points that have been talked about lately. So we are, and this came up in was it the last portal video? I'm trying to remember. I feel like it's time, like really we are, it's just the eternal now, right? Medicine wheel, like time is becoming so clearly an illusion as linear time. Our perception and our sort of understanding of time as linear is changing, right? It's just things are speeding up. Like I feel like there's no way, because the portal videos happen at the beginning of the month. So how was it that the 6/6 portal video just happened? But it may have been that video where we were talking about how we are becoming these transmuters of energy, right? No. This was the Jupiter Pluto conjunction video, which like I said, I recommend you guys check that out. but Tommy's comment reminded me of that, is this fact that we are, and we've always been transmuters of energy, but we're stepping more into a resonance with that. And we're becoming more adept at doing that without even realizing that we're doing it. And so we have a lot of us, right? We talk about how we're like these satellites. And so we receive this high vibrational energy, and we're sort of like the portals through which this energy comes down and grounds into. And it's funny that I'm talking about that now because we have grounding with the picture of the earth on the bottom of the deck, and grounds into the earth, grounds into Gaia, right? But now what we're also fine-tuning this ability to do is be these transmuters of energy. And so what's happening is we're taking in these lower vibrational energies, and we're actually using them as more spiritual fuel. And we are, because it's all one, right? Like there is no, like all energy is energy, and it all is, right? As Medicine Wheel is, saying, right, it all is of that love energy, right? And so our systems are beginning to understand this and beginning to be able to utilize this. And so we're taking in those lower vibrational frequencies too, and transmuting that into light. And so we're just creating more and more and more light, which is so, so cool. And yeah, that whole process of transmutation that's happening right now. Yes. That's one thing I learned well this year. We are absolute. Yes, yes. Oh, I love the energy coming through from you guys in this. I absolutely love it. And then we have soul love. And so this is all about unconditional love. This is about that we are that, right? We are that love. That love is all that there is, and coming into. And this is like falling in love more deeply with our souls, falling in love with our divinity. Really, like that soul song, that soul love. Like this is the energy that we're entering into as we just, yeah, we're learning how to fall in love more deeply with ourselves and with each other, right? Because I am you and you are me. You are a reflection of me. We are all aspects of this, like aspects and fractals of this original source energy, right? This oversoul that all of our souls are part of, that encompasses all of us. And so we're merging with our own souls, but we're merging with the universal soul as well. And so this whole process, right, as that's coming in. So as we allow ourselves to fall more deeply in love with ourselves and our souls, right, as we allow ourselves to recognize this other souls and to fall more deeply in love with other souls, we're also falling more deeply in love with source. We're merging with all of that. It's a merger of all of those energies. It starts with merging with ourselves. As we merge with ourselves and our own soul energy, we begin to learn how to merge with others, right? And so this brings in like the twin flame dynamic, which is just a merging, also a within merging of our inner divine masculine and feminine essences, right? But this process of learning how to merge with other souls. And we're learning, ultimately, we learn how to merge with the divine. And we realize that we were really merged the whole time. That's the funny thing. That's the kicker, is this is all an illusion. And we are, in fact, one with source right at this very moment. It's just like this interesting sort of simulation that we're playing, where we realize that and understand that and come into that experience all over again. But in reality, we're already there. So it's funny, right? It's also funny. It's just great sense of humor that Source has as we these conversations are just so funny, right? Because it's all like, really, we're just all one. We're all one entity. We're all one energy and consciousness, but we have all of this stuff that we go through and discuss in this whole learning process as we come back to that. Yes. By loving ourselves. Exactly. It's all, everything, that's the secret to life, the secret to everything, really, is learning how to fall in love with ourselves and realizing that the self and the other are the same. And so as we learn to fall more in love with ourselves, we learn how to fall more in love with everything else, everything and everyone else as well, because there is no else, there is no other. And then we also have inner voice. And so I'm going to read something on that and just see what that has to say. this stuff. Let's see here. All right. And in this picture with the hands, these are actually, I think these are wings again, but they looked like hands to me when I saw this. And it just like the phrase that came to my mind was holding the light. And so I'm thinking of that as well. And just the fact that with this portal, that is really what we're doing is we're becoming capable of holding more and more light. And I got to tell you guys, earlier today, I wasn't sure if I was capable of holding the amount of light that was pouring into me. And so that's part of, I wanted to hop on here as well and share as much of that light as possible, because I just feel like, everything that we experience is meant to be shared, right? And so just getting on here and sharing that with you guys, and just all of our light combined in the experience of each of us holding that light, and that light combining and merging with each other's light. I'm really grateful for this experience right now. Like, I can feel it. I can feel that warmth. I can feel that energy. I can hear the resonance of that as all of our light joins together. And it's so beautiful. Like, we're holding so much light right now. We're learning how to hold more light within us. We're learning how to hold more light and more space, both for ourselves and for the collective. And it's just so, so, so absolutely beautiful. Yep, exactly. It is all the same. Yes, yes. Here we go. This is as we're connecting with our soul purpose, right? Like, that's another aspect of what we discussed this portal being about. So it says, persistent words and feelings that represent your greatest desires are dropping into your mind. Instead of putting life off until you do or be something in the future, bring your desires into the present. Anytime we feel like we have gone off track, we have traveled a different road to our soul, and everything becomes a sign. Anytime we feel like we have gone off track, we have traveled a different road to our soul, and everything becomes a signpost to return us to our center, where we can tune into our wise transmissions. Just as the voice, Tommy, you're going to love this. We talk about this all the time. Just as the voice on a GPS navigator tells you which way to go, your soul wisdom is always leading you toward your destination. Neither will scold you or become impatient if you take the wrong route, because there is no wrong route, right? All roads lead to source. They will just adjust, find an alternative route, and give you new directions. You can't get it wrong, right? That there is no wrong. Listen to recurring words and ideas. Pay attention to how they feel and drive forward with the ones that make your face and heart smile. I think it's so cute how they said make your face and heart smile. Right? So it's just this constant, like, our soul, and this is like the whispers of the soul again, right? In those early stages, as our soul is always whispering to us. So we talk about this. This is the thing that Tommy and I and Kayla and a whole bunch of us have discussed, our friend Jamie, at length, right? So it's this process of the fact that, like, so our soul came here, our soul chose our human, said, this human, this personality, this ego construct seems like a good fit for me. I think that I will be able to learn through this experience. I think I will be able to complete the mission that I came here to complete, whether that's to gain the knowledge, to be of service, often all of the above, right? Through this human. So I am going to join and I'm going to merge with this human, and we are going to do this, right? And so there's a certain trajectory that our souls chose for our lifetime, like the optimal trajectory, right? And so this is where we have like free will versus fate. But there are always infinite possibilities of how things can happen depending on the choices that we make, and we're free to make whatever choices we make. And so that's where this variance energy comes back in, right? And so it's like we make these different choices, but there's no such thing as ever. There is an ideal optimal path to get us to the destination and to provide us with the optimal learning during this lifetime, but there's no wrong path. And we constantly have a chance. Like, there are infinite possibilities, and our soul knew all those infinite possibilities, and they all offer gifts and blessings and lessons. And a lot of those probably similar lessons, just in different manners, right? And a different number of lessons. Like, I feel like if this is our trajectory and our route that our soul is sort of leading us down, and then we sort of veer off track onto this one, there may be a certain lesson that we get taught over and over again until we learn it. And it's just like repeating experiences of the same thing, I almost feel like, that ultimately lead us back to where we're going anyway. But it's like, we can keep making as many twists and turns as we want, and we're still going to learn, and we're still going to grow. And our soul always knew that those were possibilities. But at the same time, there is a certain optimal trajectory and growth journey that our soul will constantly be giving us these little signposts and synchronicities and whispers to lead us back to. That's like that GPS that continually offers us another route. Okay, you turn this way. And so the GPS says, okay, but you can take a right over here, and that will put you back on the route to your destination. And then we do, right? It's like that choice. We have that choice. Okay, so do I want to take that right, or do I want to take another left? And we can take another left, and then our soul will be like, okay, we'll do this. But just so you know, if you want to take a right up ahead, that will get you back to where you were trying to go. And it's like, oh, okay, no, so we're going to do this. And there's still learning and there's still growth. But if we are looking for that specific path and trajectory that will resonate the most deeply with our soul, where we will, like Pamela said, we'll feel that joy, we'll feel that connection, we'll feel all of that to our fullest capacity, there's always signposts leading us and telling us how we can get back onto that track. And the more we get into that flow, and the more on that track we are, the more signs, the more synchronicities, the more signposts we will receive as confirmation of that. Yeah. Destiny, that's a whole, it's like we have multiple destinies, right? Like there are, right, so many different possibilities of what our destiny can become, because we get the chance to co-create that as well. So we could go down a really trippy path with this right now, but I think that we're not going to, because it may get a little confuddled and confusing. But I mean, yeah, destiny. It's sort of like our soul. I guess we are going down it a little bit. Our soul knew all of these different possibilities, and all of these different ways that our destiny could manifest, and all of these different possibilities of destinies, perhaps. And so it's really interesting to think about like that. But perhaps there is one ultimate destiny as well. And perhaps we incarnate over and over after we get to a certain point of soul growth and learning. Perhaps we continue to incarnate until we get to a certain level of involvement with our soul. And then at a certain point, part of that involvement involves a certain destiny or a certain role or a certain mission that we have to accomplish. And then we continue incarnating so that we can accomplish that mission. And that becomes a key part of that soul growth and part of that destiny. But I think honestly, ultimately, our destiny is just to reclaim our divinity and reunite with source. Merge fully with our souls, and through that process, then merge fully with source. And that is the ultimate destiny. We all share that same destiny. And the question then becomes, do we ever achieve that if we're all living in an eternal now? Like, how do we ever actually merge back? Or is it that thing where we are merged even though, and we just have the illusion that we're not, right? So that was a little bit of the rabbit hole there that we climbed in for a minute. How is someone who lives in unity consciousness vibration and above most or all of the time meant to be able to adapt to the 3D dimensional concept of time? Well, somebody who exists in unity in those higher dimensions of consciousness wouldn't necessarily be adapting to three-dimensional consciousness, because ultimately we evolve beyond that, right? We ascend beyond that. But that is some of the issue that some some souls have, who have incarnated, especially souls who have incarnated for the purpose of helping aid with the ascension, or for the purpose of just their own radical soul growth, right? When we incarnate from these different dimensions of this unity consciousness, and we have a more direct sort of like echo of that memory within us, it can be much more difficult to adapt to three-dimensional reality. And that's why we see a lot of people, especially as more and more souls are incarnating, and beings, starseeds, whatever you want to call them, are incarnating for the purpose of helping with this ascension. We see how a lot of these people are maladapted, because the third dimensional reality, this system, this control grid, this power structure, this domination, and all of this, what we see in this 3D duality reality, right? Like that doesn't resonate with us, because we know deep down, even if we don't remember, the truth. And the more we get in concert with that truth, the less it resonates. The thing is, as we become more in tune with our soul and more in tune with re-merging, right? Because we are already there. But this process of re-merging and understanding and connecting consciously with the vibration of these other dimensional realities, this fifth dimension, for example, we don't necessarily need to adapt to that three-dimensional reality anymore, because we sort of transcend the need for it. And so we're able to create our own reality that looks the way that we want it to look and that suits the purpose of our souls. As we vibrate in these fifth dimensional and above consciousnesses, we are much more in touch with our identity as creator beings, and we are consciously creating our reality. So what we see reflected in our physical reality looks very different from what it is when we're just in this three-dimensional reality, sort of not really aware of these other dimensions of our existence yet. If that helps, Kelly, or answers your question. All right. Yes, and that's a lot of what we're talking about here. Channeling your higher self is merging with your soul, is channeling your soul, channeling your own light. I love that. All dimensions are one. All is one, right? Being whole is incarnated now. Spirit is what is. Right. Yeah. So these are all just different perspectives and different ways to understand this and look at this, because if we just said we're all one and that's it, our human minds wouldn't be able to really take that concept and do much with it, unless, through intense meditation and stuff like that, we can really connect with this understanding of what it means to all be one, right? But it's this process, it's this illusion, everything is one, but we're going through, that is sort of the experiment that Source has created, that we're all consciously participating in, is this illusion that we're not all one, and this seeming separation of all these different dimensions and all these different consciousnesses, and playing and moving back and forth through our understanding and our perception of those consciousnesses, so that we can have all the experiences that are only possible to experience in these different perceptions of these different dimensions. Like if we existed only in that oneness consciousness and that knowing of that oneness and resonance with that all the time, we could never have an experience like we're having right now. And Source wants to have all of those different experiences. And so it creates all of these illusions, right? All of these fractals, these illusions, these dimensions, these different offshoots and essences of itself discovering itself. And so that's the game, and that's the process that we're in right now, is like rediscovering that oneness and what that means, and how it is that we connect back into that knowing of that oneness and that merging back into that oneness. All right. So I don't know, you guys. I'm feeling we're going to do a light worker oracle to close this out. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple cards from the Ascended Masters. We'll see. 7-7 portal. Advice, guidance, energies. 7-7 portal. Advice, guidance, energies. Advice, guidance, and energies for the 7-7 portal. And there's 7 people on here right now, which is pretty cool. So we got Dark Angel, number 30. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have 18, Ascension, the Rainbow Bridge, with spiritual service under that. So this is just beautiful, right? So we're talking about the Dark Angel, which I believe I'm feeling part of that. I'm feeling part of that purging energy that we're all going through, those shadow aspects that we're healing right now. We're going to look at what else this one has to say here. The Dark Angel comes to you with a radical truth. Divine love is always there for you without exception. Love will never forget you. It will never stop caring for you. Even when it seems most unlikely, in fact, especially then, the divine is reaching for you and nurturing you. Even our wounds, so this goes right back to that healing card that we got at the very beginning, right? Even our wounds are ways that we can discover love and divine grace through the healing process. The divine is always helping you remember who you are and find your true joy. When the Dark Angel appears, you are being given a gift of light, even if it may seem to be a hidden blessing. A dark mystery is one that helps us learn that even if things don't seem to be working out according to the timing or the methods that we believe necessary, the light and love of spirit are unfailing. If a door is closed in your face, it is the wrong door for you. Divine love will ensure that the right door opens at the right time. When you encounter darkness, how you respond can make either the dark or the light victorious. You can choose, and so this is also the transmuting of energies that we were talking about, right? You can choose doubt and fear, or you can force the darkness to serve the light by choosing trust and faith. You are spiritually advanced enough to trust unconditionally. That is the trust that burns bright, not only when things appear good, but even when your mind thinks things seem to be heading in the wrong direction. So this is the ego self, right? This is the ego self that looks and sort of evaluates everything and the way that things should be going and evaluates from that human perception, right? And this is the way that we rise above that and transmute that energy, is by tapping into that energy of unconditional divine love, trust, and surrender. Does unconditional trust mean that if you give up, if things get tough, assuming it's not meant to be? Of course not. Relying on unconditional trust and understanding the dark mystery, you are willing to go through periods of not knowing, stepping into that unknown. Who am I? What am I? What does life look like on the other side of this journey? What do I look like if I let go of all these old stories, all these old beliefs, all of these old aspects of myself and my life that are outdated and outmoded and ready to go? What is on the other side of that? Who and what am I if I allow myself to merge with my soul, right? You are willing to continue on your path even when you are not seeing immediate results, because in your heart, you know it's right. So this is also that process of like what happens in the non-physical trickling down into the physical, and how like knowing that things are happening, even if they're not seen yet, and allowing that process and that timeline, to clear out in the physical, like the effects of what's happening energetically to transpire in the physical, and just trusting that they are, even if we're only seeing that in little bits and pieces. This type of trust is powerful enough to release any separation between you and the universe, any perceived separation, right? You know that even when the universe guides you into challenging territory, you shall benefit, grow in divine power, and become the amazing being you are destined to be. Praying to the beautiful dark angel and writing, drawing, dancing your feelings, or dialoguing with your dream images, you can work through the pain of a challenging time and grow in wisdom. What matters is that you honestly express the depth of your suffering. Then, when you are ready, acknowledge that the experience has helped you grow. As we realize how we have grown through the experience, turning what was once a source of pain into spiritual light, transmutation, we masterfully transform our deepest pain into our greatest growth and spiritual accomplishment. We become true spiritual alchemists, releasing light from darkness. Yes, yes, yes. As you learn to put more faith in love than in fear, your trust becomes increasingly unconditional, and you find the light even through the dark. In this way, you become initiated in the mystery of the dark angel. Then you can show others that this is possible. You can help heal others from victim consciousness and show them that inner peace is possible, even when they are facing the unpredictable twists and turns in life. If you have been going through a difficult time or struggling to heal an issue, the Dark Angel promises that even through the depths of despair, you shall find the light. In your own time, you will rise again into trust, restored faith, and hope. All will be well. And I want to throw this out again for you guys. If this is something that you're struggling with, that targeted healing sessions can really be a help with this. I'm a big fan of the combination reading healings, but targeted healing sessions where we you know what it is that you're struggling with. You have a specific intention set for that. We can go in, do a healing around that, and help to bring some release, help to bring some clarity, help to bring some closure. That those can be really, really powerful. So reach out to me if you are interested in that. I would love to provide some assistance in that process. But yeah, this is that whole process of transmuting darkness into light, of really releasing the attachment to our ego and just allowing this process of transmutation to occur, and really embracing, like knowing that we don't transmute darkness into light by pretending that the darkness doesn't exist, right? We acknowledge it. We love it. We acknowledge these parts of ourselves that are crying out for attention, and we love them into light. We integrate them, right? We don't just dismiss them. We don't bury them. We don't destroy them. We integrate them. We allow them to become part of our consciousness, our expression, right? And just really this process of becoming this beautiful transmuter of energy, and all of that trust and that faith, and really surrendering into that trust and that faith and that love. And we have Ascension, the Rainbow Bridge. So that's perfect, because that's exactly what we were talking about. The activating, the reinforcing of the rainbow light body, calling in that rainbow energy, right? The rainbow energy contains, as we talked about, all of the frequencies of energy, all of the rays of light, all of the harmonic tones of the universe, all of that. And so it can be so healing, and you can receive exactly the light that is meant for you. And at this point, like, we're receiving all of that light today, guys. It's just washing over us, and it's healing us, and it's activating and aligning us. And all of these, it's activating and aligning all of our subtle bodies of energy as well. If you guys want to look into it, it's really interesting. The 7 bodies of energy. And I always looked at it as simple as just corresponding to the different layers of the chakras and the layers of the aura. But there's actually even more stuff out there on that, which is really, really fascinating. And so it's like all of that stuff is being harmonized. All of those 7s are coming into harmony. And so that rainbow light body, that rainbow bridge that connects us, right? She's connecting through the heart center, that heart gateway, that heart portal that connects us to absolutely everything, that connects us to the 5th dimension and beyond, connects us to our divinity, connects us to this knowledge of source and of our connection and our oneness with source. It connects us, and it is the bridge to everything. It is the bridge to our ascension. And we're on that bridge right now. And then we have spiritual service. So this is, being called into our spiritual service, this process as we merge with our souls, as we connect with our divinity, as we connect with our life path and our life purpose, right? We are coming into a greater knowledge of our mission here, and whatever that mission is. Your spiritual service can be the healing of yourself, right? Because that heals the world. It can be the example that you set for others in the world. It can be the way that your light radiates into the world just by being who you are. It can be the ways that you interact with your peers, with your family members, with your loved ones, right? It can be a humanitarian cause. It can be anything, stepping into your own divinity and your own lights and your own purpose and path as a healer, as whatever it is, right? Our spiritual service looks different to everyone, but we all have spiritual service that we came here to do. And, the spiritual service that we do for ourselves as we go through our own healing process, because we are all one, is also a spiritual service to others. But there's just so many different aspects and different layers to our spiritual service. And this rainbow light body and the 7-7 portal is a bridge to that as well, and to a deeper understanding and connection to that soul purpose and to that method of spiritual service that we are here to do in the world. And so we are going to call it with that, guys, I think, for tonight. Just go through some more of your comments here real quick. Shokure. Yeah. So powerful. Yep. Yes. Reiki is absolutely beautiful as well. I am also a medicine wheel, a Reiki practitioner. I specialize in the Belvaspata, which is the angelic healing of the heart. So I talk about that a lot, but the Reiki energy as well. If you guys do Reiki, you know, doing some self Reiki can be really helpful as well. I think a lot of Reiki practitioners forget to do that and forget how powerful that can be. And just doing Reiki, whatever energy modality that you do, as you heal yourself with that, you also heal the world. And you can send that energy out to the planet as well. And that is a spiritual service. And it's just whatever ways that it is, you know, that we connect and we feel into that energy, and just being in that and sharing that. I'm now getting into the process, and I haven't really played around with it, how it would work remotely, but at least with people that are in the area that I am in, of starting to share that gift of attuning people to the Reiki energy, which is absolutely so beautiful. Like, the more people we have who are opening themselves up to carry more of this light and channel more of these frequencies, the more powerful we are healing ourselves, the planet, each other. It's just so absolutely beautiful. And there's a lot of that, a lot of those vibes going out to everyone watching this video in whatever version of the now you are finding it. And I love every single one of you. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. That's right. To make the darkness conscious is to turn the shadow into light. Yes, right. Or to remind the shadow that it was light all along. Right. I really like that. I love all of you. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you to anyone who's finding this channel for the first time. I've mentioned a few times, Kayla and I both do energy healings. We both do personal readings, a whole bunch of different services that we offer. So definitely check those out in the description box below. If you want to catch more lives and more videos, subscribe if you haven't already. I would encourage those of you who enjoy these solo lives that I do and this different stuff like that to also check out my channel that I'm just launching, Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia, because we'll get a lot of this, my specific energy, a lot of that, this will be moving towards that. And you guys will get to see some really awesome stuff from me and Kayla, as Kayla and I get to collaborate more and more and fill this channel up with more of our beautiful combined energy. But we're just moving. Things are always ebbing and flowing, but definitely you can donate to this channel as well if you want. The links are for that below. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like it, comment if you're finding this after the fact and you enjoyed it. I noticed that people do tend to watch the playbacks quite a bit. So we want to hear your experiences. We want to hear how you're experiencing this 7/7 portal, just all of these beautiful energies, how you're listening to those whispers of your soul and stepping into your soul song. It's just such exciting energy that we're in right now. And I just once again want to thank you all for being here and being a part of this energy as we did this portal video tonight. Yes. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. Love you so very much. Until we meet again. And now I always forget how to turn off the live stream at the end. One of these days I'll remember. I found the button. It's down here. Good night, everyone. Namaste. I love you. I see and acknowledge that beautiful light in you. That is the light in me. That is that beautiful, beautiful light of love. That is all that is. Goodbye. And